What is the deal, everybody? What is the deal? Welcome to the welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Salute to you guys, man. Tonight it is a Raider Nation Unlimited with a twist. It is a late night with Wasted. It is now 10:15 on the East Coast, everybody. On the West Coast, it's 7:15, so it's prime time for all of you. This is a show for the West Coast, everybody. And if you're and guess what? If you're up on the East Coast, get wasted with your brother Wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Everybody share this thing out to all social media. So tonight, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk Raiders. Definitely gonna talk Raiders, but we're gonna talk some stuff that went on in the rest of the National Football League as well. You guys all right with that? Man, I tell you what, it's looking good out here, man. It's almost 100 in the room, man. It is almost 100 in the room, y'all. And Mike, no, I did not fall asleep last night. I did not mean to schedule that show for last night. I didn't even make a thumbnail for it. So I'm sorry that you guys saw that. But yeah, last night was definitely, I was waiting to really catch up and get with you guys tonight, man. But yo, let's really get into it, man. Let's get into it because look, we need to really touch on, the situation. Salute to everybody. It's 100 in the room right now. We need to touch on a few things that's going on today, right? Yeah, no, the new mic is coming tomorrow. I don't know. How does it how am I sounding? Y'all what's cracking, Jason? But look, the unofficial depth chart was released today. Let's get into that. Are you know the Raiders are going to play against the San Francisco 49ers. Thursday's game kicks off at 5 p.m. PST. It is going to be broadcasted on Fox 5 in Las Vegas. The depth charts are required to be released ahead of the preseason matchup. It's important to remember this is unofficial. Changes are fluid, guys. With that said, the star wide receiver room, Jalen Naylor, Dante Thornton Jr., Cedric Jackson, Chase Roberts on one side. Colton Miller is starting left tackle. Charles Grant is the backup left tackle. Isaiah Jada and Kamar Missouri are at left guard. Spencer Burford is firmly entrenched there. Caleb Rogers is the backup there. Braden Daniels is also another backup. At center, Tyler Linderbaum is the starting center. Jordan Meredith is the backup center. Will Putnam is third string. Right guard, Jackson Powers Johnson is at right guard. Antonio Mafe is at right guard. And Nicholas Herring is at right guard. So there's a little change right there. Now, Caleb Rogers was firmly entrenched over there at right guard. Now they're moving him to left. So, that's more of what I thought things would look like, if I'm going to be honest with you, right? Trey Zoon III is the backup to DJ Glaze at right tackle, and Dalton Wagner is also the third stringer. Dalton Wagner's been with this organization a very, very long time. Is glad to see that Wagner is still out there. I really, to be honest with you, man, I really want to see, that matchup with Zoon and DJ Glaze. And I also want to see the Burford situation. Because, look, man, I told you guys, Caleb Rogers is a guy that I really have been super high on. He is a guy that, look, man, I personally feel like I thought Caleb Rogers would have been starting by now. But, I want to see him have a chance to fight for that job. Tight end, of course, Brock Bowers, Mike Mayers, Ian Thomas, and Albert Equanimbaum Jr. is the four-string guy. Carter Runyon, Chris Myrick. Those are guys that I don't think probably going to make this roster. Now, second wide receiver, Jack Besh, Malik Benson. They're fighting it out for that job. Devin Tompkins is a special teamer. E.J. Williams Jr. from Indiana, former Fernando Mendoza college teammate. And Trey Tucker. Of course, is starting Derek Young, Philip Dorsett, Brandon Johnson. Start quarterback, Kirk Cousins. Fernando Mendoza is the backup. Aiden O'Connell's the third stringer. Jacob Clark's the fourth stringer. Running back, Jeanty, Mike Washington, Laube, Roman Hembry, Dare, Onagabuale, and Connor Hay was the starting fullback, and Patrick Gerd is the backup, guys. So listen, there's not a lot out there that is something to where it would be surprising, right? Thing is this, right? There's a few things about this roster that really, for me, is kind of weird, right? Like I've kind of always wondered why the Raiders have felt comfortable with Jordan Meredith being the backup center. Like that's something that's always hasn't really sat right with me. I don't think that Jordan Meredith has played very meaningful snaps at center. At guard, he had a year that was an outlier, and I understand why he was kept. But I would have hoped for the Raiders to seek a little bit better for the backup, right? When you start talking about the right tackle job, is that up in the air? Is that still a job that is kind of being, fought over? Like, does Trey Zoon really have a path to start week 1? Or are they going to ride out with DJ Glaze? And also the Burford Caleb Rogers thing. Like, does Caleb Rogers actually have a chance to overtake Burford? Because you guys got to realize this is not like when we were growing up, right? There's only 3 preseason games now because they added that extra game. So, there's not going to be a lot of meaningful snaps for starters. There are a lot of teams that aren't going to play starters, right? The 49ers really spoke about their plan for what they're going to do, and we're going to get into that very briefly, right? But look, in today's NFL, there's only 3 preseason games. These guys get paid a hell of a lot of money, right? And I understand why teams don't play preseason. Like, I think the joint practices and practice is enough for these guys. It's hard enough to keep these guys healthy, right? Now, preseason, back in the day, they would play 6 preseason games, right? If I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, correct me. Any of you guys in the Get Off My Lawn gang that were alive and watching football in the 70s, from what I understand, they used to play 5 or 6 preseason games. When I was growing up, it was always 4, right? But you got to ask yourself, man, in a league like now, why is preseason even necessary? Why is it even necessary? And I know at the owners' meetings that are coming up, there are going to be things that are going to be broached. You might get to a place where it's only 2. You might get to a place where it's only 2. Salute to my guy, J. Rowe, and salute to my guy, DeMo. Salute to the 170 you guys in the room, man. It's late. Get wasted with your brother. Wasted, man. My God. My God. J. Rowe says he only remembers 4. And J. Rowe's a lot older than me, so. But yeah, you know what? Matter of fact, before I move on to the next subject, let me ask Google, man. How many NFL preseason games were there in the late 70s? Because if I'm not mistaken, they played more. Okay, in the late 70s, the NFL had 28 active teams. The active roster limit was 43 or 45. They're not saying, they're talking about rosters. How many preseason games? Must have typed that wrong. Salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother wasted. All right, I was right. J. Rowe, and you were wrong. In 1977, between 1970 and 1977, teams played 6 exhibition games alongside a 14-game regular season schedule. 1978 and 79, the regular season expanded to 16 games, and the preseason was reduced to 4 games. The Hall of Fame game, the 2 teams selected to play in the annual Pro Football Hall of Fame exhibition game played 1 extra game during both eras. So there you have it. Wasted Ben told you once more. Salute to my guy, Silver Stunner, gifting us with a $5 slapperoonie, the first one of the day, man. Salute to my guy Silver Stunner, keeping the lights on here at Raider Nation Unlimited, man. I tell you right, man. Man, it's been rough out there, man. Salute to you for keeping the lights on here, my guy. Oh my God, man. Silver Stunner, we will bring in 3 players at minimum on an active roster after cuts: a wide receiver, a linebacker, and a running back. We might not. And bro, I'm gonna be real with you, right? Like, when you start thinking about the problems that are on this Raider roster, I don't necessarily think that the answers are outside of the building. I don't think the answers are outside of the building. Like, guys that are out on the scrap heap right now, for the most part, are there for a reason. For the most part, they're there for a reason. And guys, I gotta let you guys know that this stream is brought to you by Prize Picks. Now, I played it in the beginning of the show, but I need you guys to understand how serious this Prize Picks thing is. And guys, my link is in the chat. It's at the bottom of the description. Please hit that link. We want to show Prize Picks the power of the Wasted Talent Army. I need for you guys, if you're going to go and do any of that, if you're going to go over there, you got to understand something. Prize Picks is trying something new, right? And we spoke about it earlier. It's $5, right, for your first lineup on Prize Picks. And if you win, you get $150 in lineup money. So, man, going over there and show them the power of the Wasted Talent Army, man. And salute to my guy, Just D Nut. Oh, Justice D Nut. 7662 for the AC bill. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. But look, this is the thing. There's always guys that get cut from other teams that don't fit with one roster that could, like, most likely fit with another roster. And I understand that. I'm talking about currently constituted. Most of the guys that are on the free agent and waiver wire are there for a reason, bro. They're there for a reason. And when you think about teams that win football games, teams that win football games develop from within. And the biggest problem that the Raiders have had, when you look at a losing football team, if you show me a losing football team, I will show you a team that does not develop and keep their freaking draft picks. Listen, this is John Spytek's show. He's brought in a lot of these players, and it is time to allow them to cook. I don't need to have all of the answers going into the season. I don't need to have all the answers. Seriously. The thing is, are you patient enough to allow them to develop? That's the biggest question out there. Development, everybody. Development. My guy Fly out at 5 goes, hey, just watch New Jersey Drive and saw Wasted selling Lucy's on the block. Yo, that is insanity, yo. Salute, man. But that is the main thing, bro. And I don't want to lose my train of thought here. The main thing is, do you have the wherewithal to allow these young fellas to develop? Do you have the wherewithal to watch Dante Thornton develop? Do you have the wherewithal to deal with Caleb Rogers and Trey Zoom developing without having all of the answers? Do you have the wherewithal to have Dalton Johnson develop? Traden Stukes, all of these guys? That is the question. And that's always been the question. We ask for development, and then when we get it, we don't like it. And we want us to go out there and bring people that were once good players somewhere else. Look, there is a springtime of everyone's life. There are guys out there that it is the winter of their NFL career, and that's the reason why they're on the scrap heap. We are the same fan base who thought that the Raiders bringing in Jamal Adams was going to feed families. You got to allow some of these guys to develop. I'm sorry. And the thing is, you can't expect for people to hit the ground running. Yo, there's a reason why they say, listen, man, it's a grown man league. Rookies need to rise. They need to get their experience. Listen, there's some guys that are aberration. They come in here and they hit the ground running. They hit the ground running. They're superstars from day one. But that is not normally the case. Salute to my brother Top Beats. And look, Jamal Adams did play well for us, right? Within context, though. Within context. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to my guy, J. Rowe. He goes, so everyone that will be on our 53 week one is on the roster right now? I don't necessarily know if that's the case, right? But what I do know is that I would pray and hope that most of them are still here, right? Because if all things being equal, right, you got a lot of guys on this roster that last year got their careers low-key derailed by the ineptitude of the coaching staff. And you got to give these guys a little grace. Now, listen, if there's a situation where somebody gets cut for a cost-cutting measure and they're a perennial starter somewhere and they're ripe for the picking for the Raiders, then by all means, pounce on it. Pounce on that situation. But what I am not going to try to do is I'm not going to go out there and go and get a guy that is dealing with certain things, that's at the twilight of his career, for me to wish and hope that they can rekindle the level of play that they once had. I don't think that that's smart, and I really don't think that that's an effective way to build. I remember the last time the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl. Everybody was talking about how they had all these rookies starting and playing. And guess what? That's what got them to the bowl, because young players win football games. Old washed-up guys do not win football games. I'm sorry to tell you that. Sorry to tell you. Salute to my guy, Flores Plunkett, being a member for 17 whole months. Be patient with this staff. Truly think it'll be done right. I do too. I got a lot of faith in these guys. It's not blind faith. It is faith that has been backed up by some of the decisions I've seen made. Salute to my brother, UA Mel, Wasted. What do you think of Besh? This guy's a second-round pick that's been quiet in camp while Benson is the talk of camp. Spy Tech looks suspect to me. See, UA Mel, this is the thing, bro. I think that this is where we kind of part company, right? Yeah, are there questions about Jack Besh? Yeah, right? But we also got to look at the fact that last year, Geno Smith was on his back all the time last year. It'd have been hard for anybody to have a productive year in offense with that performance by this offensive line, right? Then you have a situation where you lose your offensive coordinator and it gets a little murky. Last year was a tough year for everybody, especially if you're a rookie and you haven't been in this league, right? So I'm going to give Jack Besh a pass on that, right? I don't think Spy Tech is shaky to me because of the things that he has done. You're not going to hit on every single player, and you don't have to hit on every single player. And I kind of feel like for us, because we've been losing so long, there is this, it's not a sense of entitlement, but it's almost a hunger for us to turn everything around. And anytime we see one thing veer off that path, we don't look at it like other fans do. Other fans are like, hey, man, he missed on that one, but he swung and he connected on this player, and that player. No, what winds up happening when you're in an organization that has not done a whole lot of winning and you had to hold on to hope and wish and pray, and then you get nothing at the end of the year, it kind of hardens you, and it makes you jaded, and it makes you say, man, whatever. That's what it makes you feel like. It makes you feel like anytime you see one little thing go wrong, you're ready to follow it. And it reminds me of what happened this weekend with Ashton Jeanty. Now, guys, we all know that Ashton Jeanty went down this weekend in camp. During Sunday's practice, he dove for a low pass from Kirk Cousins and landed awkwardly on the indoor turf. And he remained on the ground. He was helped off by the trainers. You guys know the story. He was unable to put weight on the right leg. His teammates and coaches took a knee and prayed for him. And I mean, my God, man, you got to understand how important Ashton Jeanty is for, you know, what the Raiders are trying to do on an offensive standpoint. Like they're trying to use him like a high wire act. They're trying to use Jeanty the same way San Fran uses, you know, Christian McCaffrey. They're trying to make him a feature back catching the football. They're going to have him on the field an awful lot. And not having him, no matter how good Mike Washington is, it is a real huge setback for this offense. And also having a rookie play, listen, even if he can run well, right? You got to start thinking about how he's going to do in pass pro. How is he out catching the football out of the backfield? Like Jeanty had 55 catches last year. That's nothing to sneeze at. There's nothing to sneeze at, yo. Salute to my guy, Notorious Vic. Great show, Waste. Appreciate you, bro. But UA Mel, look, I can't get mad at you for thinking that Spy Tech is shaky. That's your opinion, right? I think it's way too early to say that. I think it's way too early to say that. Now, when you start talking about Jack Best, I'm not a Jack Best truther. I like Jack Best. I like his story. I hope he's successful. I'm rooting for him. But if I'm being it 100% real, in that draft, in the second round, when they had their pick that they traded back, and I understand they traded back and got value, I did not want Jack Best. I wanted Luther Burden. I wanted Luther Burden, man. I'm going to be real with you. I wanted Luther Burden. I will make no mistakes about it. I wanted Luther Burden. And I think this team, had they gotten Luther Burden, will look a totally different way. But it is what it is. Water under the bridge. And now Jack Best is a Raider, and I'm rooting for him to do all he can do. Jack Best has not wowed me and knocked my socks off either from anything I've seen from camp. And the thing is, people say he's Jordy Nelson, but the only thing that's similar about Jordy Nelson and Jack Best is their skin color. Like Jordy Nelson was a lot faster than Jack Best. I'm sorry, man. Salute to my guy Silver and Stunner. We should develop talent like the early picks like Thornton. We do not have to develop 6 or 7 draft picks like Coy Berg and JJ unless we see a spark. Look, you got to earn that, right? You got to earn that. You got to earn that. When you get rehab, that's something that you earned. Yeah, and listen, we all keep saying we wanted certain guys. I get it, UA. But, they're the ones who, they make the decisions. We just got to ride out with the decisions that they make at a certain point. But look, man. Look. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Salute to everybody in chat. So the San Francisco 49ers, right, are playing the Raiders, and they made an announcement about how they're going to be moving on, the game on Thursday. Kyle Shanahan spoke to reporters after the 49ers held their first full camp, their first full practice at the training camp this week. He revealed the team's plan for Thursday's preseason finale against the Raiders. He said, I don't think you'll see many starters, Shanahan said. We don't have enough time as we usually do, so I'll be surprised if any of them are out there. There might be a couple, but it will be closer to how we look week 1, the first season game against the Titans, right? So the 49ers should be well rested, at the start of their regular season, they're going to turn their attentions to going to Melbourne, Australia, and playing the Los Angeles Rams. So, I don't think Kyle Shanahan sees the value in getting his guys hurt. And to be real with you, most of these guys that need to make this roster, they're going to have to do that in camp. They're going to have to do that in practice. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother Wasted, man. Salute to my brother Top Beats in the place to be, man. One of the My Father extraordinaires up in here, man. So look, guys, I don't know if you saw Warren Sharp's assessment of Fernando Mendoza. I mean, did you guys see it? Did you see it? Because if you didn't, I got to let you see Warren Sharp's assessment of Fernando Mendoza. And we're going to break this down, you guys. We're going to break this down. Then we're going to transition out of some of the Raider news. I got some more Raider news, and then we're going to go into a little more NFL news. How many of you guys want to talk about what's going on in Cleveland with Shedur Sanders? Because I know I definitely do. It's very, very interesting, man. Yeah, hey, listen, give me a fucking break. This is late night with Wasted. I've been at work all day. I come home, I shower, and I bring you greatness. You bunch of effing bums. I mean, yeah, I do need coffee. But the thing is, I don't want to be up all freaking night, man. The F up out of here. Plus, I don't know if my wife is still up. I don't know if I could get a proper cup of coffee right now. I don't know if I can get a proper cup of coffee right now, man. I really don't. So, guys.
But his accuracy when he's under pressure has been one of the worst in the NFL. 42 out of 45 quarterbacks on a per pass basis. 4 out of 11 passes have been complete. That's just a 36% completion rate under pressure. He's averaging just 3.5 yards per attempt under pressure, has taken 9 hits, 2 sacks, and thrown that interception. This is a prime example of, like, you're thinking of the Raiders with Tom Brady, Kubiak. When are we going to start this guy? When do we want to throw him into the fire? And that's really what we're going to get here is at whatever point they decide, Mendoza is going to be thrown to the fire. How can he protect himself? How can he forget like executing the offense here? He's clearly shown he's struggling to execute the offense. How can he protect himself when he's pressured? He's taken 9 hits when he's been pressured. Most quarterbacks don't take hits at that rate when you're pressured. When you're pressured, you're getting rid of the ball. When you're pressured, you're scrambling. He's just in the pocket, taking hits, not completing passes, taking sacks, throwing interceptions. Like, it has looked poor from Fernando Mendoza. And that's why I'm just not sure when they would want to put him in there.
Well, salute to Warren Sharp, a.k.a. Magnum P.I. himself, man. Warren Sharp is listen, he definitely is a guy that is a numbers guy, right? Now, what they say is this, right? They say men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That is a fact within context, right? I think numbers can be used to really highlight a point if you have an agenda or debunk a point, right? So I don't really view what Warren Sharp was saying from the same lens, right? Because you got to give yourself context when you talk about, Fernando Mendoza, when you start talking about what he was doing on the field, right? You got to look at the fact that he's in there predominantly with 2s and 3s, right? You got to also look at the fact that this is a guy that is a rookie that is working under center, right? There are so many different caveats. So many different caveats, man. Now, the 4-for-11 stat needs context. I mean, like 2 of those incompletions were intentional throwaways, right? And those numbers don't include his throwaway towards Jack Best in the last game. That stat down, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't tell everything. It doesn't tell the entire story, man. And I think a lot of people are being extra because he's the number 1 pick. You got some people that are making this push for him to start week 1. You got a lot of people who are Fernando Mendoza supporters, and you got other people who are trying to sabotage this young man's reputation right off the bat. You got some of the people that are talking about, when he goes and gives his speeches and he talks to the media and he's personable, he's a good kid. A lot of people say that that's fake. A lot of people say that he might need, another year and all this other stuff, and he's not that good of an athlete. And you get these crazy extremes. And the one thing what I would tell you, Nation, is this. The guys we got in the building are bringing him along just fine. And Fernando Mendoza, when it is time for him to play, you are going to get a quarterback that can really produce at this league. Listen, and I'm gonna go my man articles and particles. He said numbers lie. You know what else don't lie? Shakira's hips. That's the only thing on earth that don't lie. I don't know if her hips still are telling the truth as old as she is right now. But salute to Shakira, man. Salute to her. The F up out of here with that crap. But, bro, look, you got stuff going all around the league, bro. All around the league. Now, George May said a snake took 5. This is modern football. No one will ever sit for 5 years in the National Football League now, bro. But yeah, Mendoza's good money, man. I don't see what these guys are like, these guys with these agendas trying to be like Fernando Mendoza truthers. I don't see why it's almost there. It's a concerted effort for them to try to go after some of these young guys. Some of these young guys, man, that they're going after. And I want to talk about that. We're going to transition to the rest of the league. But, guys, really quickly, the Raiders relief, wide receiver Noah Brown, grand opening, grand closing. Do not know exactly why Noah Brown was even on this team, right? And guess what? Look, there's just a lot to this roster that I have to raise an eye to, right? Some of the stuff that's going on, I'm going to hold and reserve my judgment. It seems like everybody has a plan. I hope I'm right. Seriously. I hope I'm right. You got all these guys that man, everybody got a lot of opinions, right? But a lot of people don't have a lot of facts. But, guys, a little more Raider news, and we're going to get into, the rest of the league. And to be honest with you, I should probably get into the rest of the league now, right, guys? What do you think? We're going full NFL talk, guys. So listen, the Shedur Sanders situation. Now, from all looks, from the outside looking in, right, it looks like Shedur Sanders should be the clear winner of that job. From the outside looking in, right? The Cleveland Browns organization saw it differently. They're starting Deshaun Watson, right? And what we got to ask ourselves is, was there ever a doubt that Deshaun Watson was going to start? Like, I don't think you guys understand how much money Deshaun Watson is making. I would say Deshaun Watson has the worst contract in the history of professional sports. Like, the worst. It is unilaterally the worst contract in professional sports history. It is a horrendous contract. And there have been some bad contracts in baseball. And Bobby Bonilla, it wasn't a bad contract. That was a shrewd financial move by the New York Mets. They had to make a move. They prorated his money and the interest, and now it is what it is. The Will Ponds, they had a Ponzi scheme. They had a whole bunch of shit going on. So the Bobby Bonilla deal is not bad because people don't realize that Bobby Bo left the Mets, played other places, came back to the Mets. And it was a trade deadline deal for them to get another player. So to make everything work, they defer Bobby Bonilla's money. And the framework of that deal is the reason why the Dodgers are winning in baseball right now. And I don't necessarily think it's going to continue. I think there's going to be a lockout next year in baseball. It has to be. Because I know the owners want to get rid of what the Dodgers are doing. The Dodgers are pretty much running a Ponzi scheme over there. And I'm not hating on the Dodgers, but, man, they got hundreds of millions of dollars just, sent off to the side. But this is the thing, guys. That Deshaun Watson contract is unilaterally, to me, the worst deal in the history of professional sports. It is horrendous. God awful. 2022. Cap hit was $9.5 million, 4.2% of their cap. If they would have released them, the dead cap price would have been $229 million. The second year, cap hit $19 million. Dead cap money, if released, $222 million. The next year, $27 million. It just makes you get ugly when you say it, right? 2025, $35 million. And this year, that man's contract is $40 million, bro. $40 million of he's 13.6% of their salary cap. If they were to release him, the dead cap hit would be $127 million. So I ask you one thing. You don't think that Jimmy Haslam, the guy who made this mistake to begin with, fired people for his mistakes, you don't think Jimmy Haslam called down there and told Andrew Berry, and Andrew Berry most likely told Todd Monken, Deshaun Watson better start. He better start. And if he don't start, you can get your ass up out of here. We don't care about the fan base and no Shedur. I'm telling you, follow the contract. And I think the way the Browns are viewing it is listen, if we're bad, we always have the ability to play Shedur. And if we lose the first two games, because they're on the road for the first two games, we come home, get some home cooking, we start Shedur, we put the fan base on fire. Because their fan base is booing the ever-loving crap out of Deshaun Watson. And guess what? Not for nothing. What have you done for me lately? He hasn't played one meaningful snap for that team. And his contract has been an albatross. And if you really, really look at it, his contract is the reason why they lost Myles Garrett. That's the reason why they lost the best pass rusher of this generation. Because of a middling bad quarterback that has off-the-field concerns. My guy Milo, spot on wasted. Deshaun's deal is a lesson. Never to be a prisoner of the moment. Think big picture, not long term. That's a fact. But man, look, I love to see these players get their money. I love to see players, get taken care of. But at the end of the day, it is about the money. They cannot afford to not play this guy. So you're going to pay him $47 million to sit on the side, right? And then you're the owner. You're the one who shoehorned this deal through. So you're the one to blame. You done fired coaches and shit, and now you're stuck with it. Now you're stuck with it. I'm telling you right now, when people tried to criticize the Raiders organization and call us a dumpster fire, Jimmy Haslam told the Raiders to hold my beer. They got rid of Baker Mayfield for no good reason. Crazy. Salute to the 400. Damn, it's a lot of y'all in the room, man. It's a lot of y'all in the room, man. I mean, it's strange, man. It is strange, man. Strange, man. You know who likes some strange? I know you guys know who likes some strange now. Woo! I tell you what, man. The 49ers owner, Jed York, man. He used a pseudonym and responded multiple times to fictitious ads for prostitutes prior to his arrest in Ohio, too, this weekend, right? So, man, yo, Jed York was out there in a trailer park, out there playing Russian roulette with his health. My God. Man, this is a man sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars on the low end. And he went to a trailer park to go get a piece of strange, man. A piece of strange. Guys, I know this is a family show, but this is Wasted Late Night. Kids, if there are any kids watching on the West Coast, I don't think there should be. Cover your ears. Earmuffs. But listen, Jed York, man, got jammed up in Ohio. He got jammed up in Ohio, man. And let me tell you something, man. This is going to be something that I want to see how the NFL handles, right? Because look, just for how some of the stuff went down with Gru, how things always go with the Raiders, right? Man, I want to see how they handle this. I need to see how they handle this. And it's crazy because when you look at the disparity between, Jed York being in a trailer park looking for a toothless crackhead, right? And then you see Mark Davis, man. People try to make fun of Mark Davis. But Mark Davis be seen with some things, man. Mark Davis be having a lot of beautiful women around him, man. Mark Davis is something like a pimp, man. Salute to Mark Davis, man. Salute to Mark Davis, man. My God. Man, Mark, you would never catch Mark Davis out there on the street. And he in a town where it's legal, right? But if we want to talk about the owner of the Raiders, this is some real swagger. Like, yo, we got Mark Davis and we got Tom Brady. You know Tom Brady's something like a pimp out there. You already know. I mean, look at Mark Davis out here, man. I mean, Mark Davis be around. He'd be around some things, man. Salute to Mark, man. You don't see Mark out there. You don't see Mark out there lacking. Mark is out there with some things, man. I mean, Mark, listen, this is how you conduct yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have money and you are a single red-blooded man, this is how you conduct yourself, Jed York. This is how you do it. My God, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I was showing you guys all of that. I don't think I was showing y'all. So guess what? You like to hit? Here it go. Mark Davis, y'all. Salute to the owner of the Raiders, man. Mark Davis be out there dating some beautiful ladies, man. I mean, Mark Davis is out there. Look at this. Look at Mark, man. Look, I am not mad at Mark, man. I am not. Yo, I'm going to get back into the news. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but salute to our owner, Mark Davis, man. God damn it. Give Mark Davis, man. Give Mark a hand. Man, God damn it. Give Mark, man. Salute to Mark Davis, man. I got to turn the applause up, man. That is how you conduct yourself, weirdo. I mean, my God, Jed York. So Jed York got caught in East Palestine, Ohio. And they say he was unfairly catfished by the prostitution sting, right? Now, it gets worse. Yo, my man got catfished, right? But Jed York was catfished by undercover investigators for consensual private behavior, according to a nonprofit group that advocates for erotic services providers' dignity and safety, right? Now, York, 46, was arrested by Human Trafficking Task Force. And Sunday at the Wheat Hill mobile home, the community trailer park in East Palestine, Ohio, police report states that the wealthy football team owner was caught after he used a prostitution website and arranged to pay $140 for sex. The woman in the ad, in reality, was an undercover agent at the task force. The erotic services providers legal education research project wrote, the police department deployed scarce public resources to orchestrate a prostitution sting and operate under the guise of recusing victims, resulting in high-profile arrests and major sports team owner. The project strongly condemns East Palestine Police Department of Columbia Country, Ohio, for this disgraceful misuse of public resources, defrauding consensual adults by catfishing. Now, the Ohio prosecutors admitted the charges for engaging in prostitution and made it disorderly conduct and possession criminal tools. Now, I don't know exactly what the criminal tools are, man, but god damn it. But I'll tell you like this, man. The 49ers are like a freaking um they're like a tragedy of errors. Like, you got the Kyle Shanahan situation, which is a little weird to me, right? Like Kyle Shanahan, in all intents and purposes of the word, had an auto accident, had some issues in the hospital. Kind of looks like he probably was under the influence, right? And they kind of slipped and slided up out of that. And now Jed York is kind of slipping and sliding up out of this. And I'm going to be honest with you. If this were the Raiders, I would have it. Yo, this would make national news. They would suspend Mark Davis. They would take draft pick. They would do all kinds of stuff. I want to see how the NFL handles this. But man, $140 for a piece of possibly rotten tail is crazy. Insane, man. Insane. Salute to my guy, Franklin, the Raider neighbor in the place, man. You're wasted. What's up with the cowboy helmet in the background? Because this is fourth and wasted. So we're talking about the entire NFL, right? So it's a Raider helmet. It's a cowboy helmet. I think that is a Atlanta Falcons helmet. This is a show we're talking about the entire league. And that's what AI spit out. But of course, you see the Raider stuff right there. So there you go. Demoke says, Wasted doesn't support local business. Look, Demoke, we know you do. We know you do. I mean, don't you run your own hot dog stand? Will you forcibly eat glizzies? I mean, shout out to Demokes. Shout out to Demokes, the serial glizzy eater himself. Salute to him. My guy Ridge, man. Isn't East Palestine, Ohio, where that toxic train wreck was at? Judge out there trying to hook up with Swamp Thing. He could be, bro. Ridge, he could be, man. He could be, man. Maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe the chick got superpowers or something. I don't know what the F's going on, man. But this is very, very, very Jerry Springer-esque. This reeks of just bad smells. It reeks of Dirty Mike in the game. If I'm being honest, guys. But that's what he gets. You got billions of dollars and you're out there just swimming around in the swamps, the depths of a trailer park, Jed York. You effing bum, you. I mean, my God. Salute to my guy Demokes, though, man. And listen, if you're gonna sweep under the trailer park rug, man, make sure you wear gloves, man, because this is a nasty, sick world out there, everybody. Salute. So, guys, today in practice, I noticed Jamar Chase looked like he tweaked his knee, man. And man, shout out to Jamar Chase, man. Hopefully he's all good. You know what I mean? Hopefully he's all good, man. Seriously, man. But listen, we really, really, really gotta think about the way things are done, man, with these players, man. Because look, man, they're practicing. You can't put them in bubble wrap. I get it, but man, kind of sucks, man. Kind of sucks, man. But guys, I wanted to circle back really quick to this Shedur thing, right? Because I know that's what a lot of people want to hear right now. Look, the Browns think Deshaun Watson will produce less crappy football than Shedur Sanders. And I don't believe this for 1 minute, man. They said Todd Monken has been trying to tell us over and over again that Shedur still needs to come up the learning curve. And this is Mary Kay Cabot. She covers the Cleveland Browns. She said Todd does not like what he calls crappy football. And it's not that Shedur will play crappy football, but you have to have a certain amount of comfortability with the system, with the scheme to be able to run the show. The crappy football Cabot was referencing was related to the pre-snap penalties, the infractions that were linked to Sanders throughout camp. Now, while Watson played poorly, completed 5 for 12 passes, 36 yards, and an interception against Buffalo, he backed up, Saturday's preseason game. Cabot's comments will lead one to believe that Monken knew the identity of his QB1 before the Buffalo contest got underway. Now, look, man, I think Todd Monken underestimated Shedur Sanders, and I think that Todd Monken is being forced to play this guy. There's no other question. The Cleveland fan base hates this guy. He has, a lot of things in the skeletons in his closet. We all know that, right? And that's a piece of it too, man. I think that the organization is trying to save face in the worst contract in history, man. And that's just the end all be all. And that's it, man. And there are a lot of people that are out there, and transitioning, talking about, Cam Ward. Now, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I want to play this clip, right? And I would like to know y'all thoughts on this. Do you think that this is accurate, or do you think there are more nefarious things going on here? I'm going to play a clip for you guys. You'd like to hear it? Here it go.
NFL teams were afraid to draft Shedur Sanders because they were worried that his talent wasn't good enough to overcome the Shedur sideshow, the Dion clown show, and that Shedur would be too entitled. And in the end, they were afraid that if we draft Shedur Sanders, we're going to get fired because of it. Cam did not have number 1 overall talent. He's short, he's got bad mechanics, he's inaccurate, and he wasn't really a great decision maker at Miami. Just like Shedur doesn't have number 1 talent. Cam Ward was so entitled when he got drafted with the number 1 overall pick that he called a Hall of Fame quarterback and asked him for his number. I was so outraged, not only in the Titans giving Cam Warren Moon's number, but I was outraged by the fact that the team would let Cam make the call to Warren Moon. They gave him the job as starting quarterback with zero competition. They've compared him to Patrick Mahomes, and they've compared him to Brett Favre without there being any proof of concept that he's Patrick Mahomes or he's Brett Favre. Cam Ward hasn't had to earn anything in Nashville, Tennessee, or the NFL. And every time something doesn't go well, he and everybody around him blame somebody else. And then there's the attitude. Again, we were worried, right? The NFL said they were worried about Shedur Sanders' attitude. They were worried that Shedur Sanders would be hard to coach. They would worry about Shedur Sanders. And listen to Cam last night when Kaharski asks him about the fumble where Cam was carelessly running with the football and got picked from behind. Take a look.
2 weeks in a row, you had a play that could have really bit you if the ball had bounced differently. When you look back on the play at the sideline when the guy batted the ball away, what might you have done differently, and what were you thinking as that was unfolding?
He dove for the ball, made a good play. Ended up losing a couple yards. That's the bad part about it. So I got to be better in, my ball security standpoint when I'm outside the pocket. But he made a great play. We just got to be able to, convert on 3rd down.
He made a good play. I mean, I don't know what you're, he made a good play. I guess I, lost a couple yards. That's dude, that can cost you the game. And that's why Shedur went in the 5th round. Because teams were afraid, hey, if we take this guy in the 1st round, TV has built this guy up to be something that he is not. If we take him in the 1st round, we are staking our jobs on this guy because everybody is going to say, well, that's the great Shedur Sanders. But the reason Shedur Sanders fell is because they didn't like his attitude. They didn't think he was that good. They thought he was entitled, and they thought he was going to get them fired. Well, Cam Ward has already gotten one coach fired. Everything that they said about Shedur Sanders, everything that they were afraid about when it came to Shedur Sanders, that's what Cam Ward is.
Now, listen. Stillman, I am not, this is the first time I've seen this guy, right? And, I have a few things that I got to say about this. Yo, weaving your bullshit opinion in as it is a fact is wild work. Now, I see some of you guys that are in my chat saying he's right, right? Based off of what? You're saying that he got a coach fired? He's not the fucking reason why the coach got fired from Tennessee last year. He's not the reason. They picked number one. He's a rookie last year, and that roster was fucking terrible. That roster was fucking terrible. Then he's entitled for reaching out to the legend Warren Moon, being another African American quarterback, the first African American quarterback to make it to the Hall of Fame, right? The all-time leader in passing in your franchise history. So it's entitled for you to reach out to get Warren Moon's number to have him mentor you. That's being entitled. That's being entitled. How the fuck is that being entitled? Reaching out and asking for a legend in Warren Moon's number when Warren Moon is willing to help him. Warren Moon likes the kid. Warren Moon praised the kid. He wants to get better. How the fuck is that being entitled? Excuse my language. What does that have to do? Yo, so this is the thing. You reach out to a guy, right, that you look up to, that play for the same organization as you, right? And you want to go out there and that's being entitled? I think being entitled is having a legend come and try to give you advice and you don't listen to it. I'm going to be honest with you. Then you talk about Cam Ward being entitled because he goes into a press conference, he makes a mistake, he owns it, and then he goes, yo, listen, I got to do better. What else do you want to see the fucking guy do? He was taken number one. Was he overdrafted? Some might think, right? But that organization is terrible. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was not a big Cam Ward guy. I remember when Cam Ward was at Washington State and he transferred to Miami. And when Cam Ward was coming out last year, I remember everybody was like, yo, we should take a quarterback. I'm like, yo, I'm cool on Cam Ward, right? But what he is not is he is not a guy that cannot be redeemed. He is not a guy that's a shithead. He's a hard worker. He's a young guy. He's on a bad football team, right? And he's got to get it better. He's got to get better. But I think the biggest problem is that, you know, and like even the way they evaluate Shedur, like people say the Deion Sanders clown show. Like, yo, you're a fucking podcaster. You're calling Deion Sanders a clown? He's one of the three best people to ever play defensive back in the league. He's one of the greatest athletes in the history of this league. And he's his father. Like, I don't understand why professional leagues have an issue with fathers being around, especially fathers who played at a way higher level than you've ever done anything in your life. Crazy to me. The Titans are an organization that have been ruining quarterbacks. Will Levis, they didn't really give him a shot. Look, let's be honest with you. Yo, Malik was balling. Malik was balling. They got rid of him. Vince Young. I mean, bro, like let's look at the last few Titans quarterbacks, man. Marcus Mariota. Look, man, I don't want to hear that shit. No, and listen, Chuck the Jedi, who's saying nobody cares about Deion and how well he coaches and all this other shit. Whether he is a good coach or whether he's not is irrelevant to me. The fact that he's Shedur's father and he got Shedur to where he's at, right? And he wants to help his son. He wants to make sure his son is in a good situation. To me, it's like people vilify him for doing that. And this shit does not make any fucking sense. It makes zero sense. So when Deion is a helicopter parent with his son, it's a problem. But when Archie Manning did it with his boys, it wasn't. Like you get guys like you got this guy in my chat right now talking about nepotism, right? Listen, it don't matter how much fucking nepotism there is in the world. You want to talk nepotism? Talk about Pete Carroll and Brendan Carroll. Talk about some of these coaches in the league who's the only reason why they're coaches and was around this game is because of their fucking dads. Almost every coach in this league, half of these guys, they daddies coached. Even our coach, right? But listen, there is a piece of that. But when you talk about professional sports, let me tell you something, man. I don't give a shit how much nepotism there is. There are not 50 people in this world that can play professional quarterback and start and even run a game plan. So the fact that Shedur Sanders can even get under center and run a game plan and play at an NFL level means that he deserves to be there. That means he deserves to be there. And no fucking nepotism. So if it's nepotism, why isn't Deion Jr. in the league? Because he didn't have the talent. Why isn't Shiloh Sanders in the league? Because he didn't have the talent. Shedur does. Now, at what level he has the talent, we'll let you know. Can he be a starter? Can he be a backup? I don't necessarily know what the deal is. I know that there's noise where you got people that think that Shedur Sanders is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And you got other people that think that, he's terrible. And I think it lies somewhere in the middle. I think he's a second-year quarterback with a lot of potential who needs an organization to believe in him. And then you say that Deion is a bad coach, right? He hasn't been doing well in the Power 4 program, right? He did well where he was at. He did well at Jackson State. Everywhere he's been, he's done well because he had his son, right? Now he's in the Power 4 conference. And guess what? And I'm not no big Deion as a coach fan, right? But what I'll tell you is it takes time for you to build a program if you're not willing to spend the money. Right. So I don't know exactly what they got going on with the NIL stuff. I think that Deion's approach is something in Power 4 that doesn't work. Right. Like I think that, getting former players as opposed to rank and file coaches. Right. And refusing to pay NIL money and, trying to be the surrogate dad for these guys. I think he has to come down off of that and try to win. Right. So I'm not saying that Deion is Nick Saban, bro. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that, when you talk about prime, you talk about the kids, you talk about any of that stuff, right? I just don't like the way some of this stuff is framed in the media. And the stuff with Cam Ward, to me, that's more of a problem with you. If you think that kid's entitled and he's not working hard, that's more of a problem. And it's it's the overarching problem in the National Football League. It is the overarching problem in the National Football League. There is a quarterback development problem in this league. There is a quarterback development problem. You have a gang of quarterbacks. A gang of quarterbacks out there, bro. You got guys like Anthony Richardson, benched. J.J. McCarthy, benched. Will Levis, benched. Mac Jones, benched. Zach Wilson, benched. Dylan Gabriel, benched. Justin Fields, benched. Kenny Pickett, benched. There's a quarterback development problem in the NFL, bro. That's part and parcel of the reason. Like, listen, as a fan, I definitely want to see Fernando Mendoza play. But for the greater good of the Raiders, because, guys, we got to bring it back to the Raiders. Got to bring it back. I want what's best for Fernando Mendoza's future. And I want the Raiders to take their time developing him. I want them to go out there, get a line, develop him, be fair with him. Don't let the media shape the narrative around when and where he should be playing or not. Seriously. Don't let the media tell you that he's bad, right? You got guys like, I played you that video earlier with Warren Sharp talking about Fernando Mendoza, just putting raw numbers out there without context, right? You get guys like Mike Florio, who's on a crusade to watch Fernando Mendoza just go out there early, right? And part and parcel of the reason why is because they want to see Fernando fail so they can talk shit about the Raiders more. But yo, this is a quarterback development problem throughout the National Football League. This is not just, listen, do I think Shedur has talent? Yes. Do I think Cam Ward has talent? Yes. Do I think there's a way that they could be successful in this league? Absolutely. Listen, but what I will tell you is this. Either which way, people, places, and things. You got to be in the right place with the right people to get the right things out of these guys. You got to have the right people developing these guys. And one thing that has been the North Star of having Tom Brady here as an owner is the fact that he recognizes that there is a development problem in this league. Salute to my guy, DeMokes. He goes, 140 is not a bad deal, though. DeMokes, you are a foul piece of trash. You effing bum, you. My God. This guy's up there. I mean, this guy's up there playing the bongos on some toothless crackhead's ass. Wherever DeMokes may lie, man. Salute to my guy, Articles and Particles. Regarding the York thing, I just want if the Trailer Park P girl looks like prime Britney Spears or the chick from Joe Dirt. Just a thought. I don't know. But what I'll tell you is this, right? In my mind, the chick that Jed York found probably looks like she is a healthy gal, most likely. And she probably burps, after she drinks beer. But listen, man, in East Palestine, Ohio, man, I'm pretty sure there's some healthy gals out there, man. There's some healthy gals out there. They are, out in the world, just, doing their thing, man. They're just doing their thing, man. I mean, listen, if I'm being honest, and I don't want to get this episode demonetized, so I want to be careful. You know me, I am a sucker for the joke. I am a sucker for a joke. But, look, I'm going to leave this alone. Salute to Jed York and all his sexual proclivities. Salute to him. Yeah, listen. In my mind, she looks like Mama June from Honey Boo Boo. But listen, man. In my mind, it was like, oh, my God, guys. We have just been gifted a gift from the heavens, guys. Patrick Stickles. I watched paint dry for 10 hours, and at least it was more entertaining than this live stream. Bro, I would say 500 people disagree with your bum ass. And you know what? I needed this because I haven't sent anyone to the gulags. This is Fourth and Wasted. We tried to talk about the whole league. We tried to make this a kind and gentler Wasted Talent. But this is Wasted Late Night. Guess what? Those gunshots are going to get a little loud. Because guess what's coming? The train to the gulags. You about to be unceremoniously balked, you effing bum. And I know you're probably a content creator who doesn't like the greatness of Wasted Talent, and you are jealous, peanut butter and fucking jealous. And guess what? It's late and I don't give a F. Time to go to the gulags forever. That's right, Mr. Stickles. You are blocked forever from the Wasted Talent Podcast, you effing bum. So what I want you to do is go and play in traffic, you effing bum. You are blocked forever. Oh my God, the Gulag train has arrived. Man. Forever. I mean, my God. I mean, could you imagine somebody saying that this live stream was boring?
Man, you a bitch. You a bitch.
I mean, could you imagine? All right, guys. So look, we're talking. We talked about the rest of the league, right? We talked about the Raiders. This is the thing. On the way out, we always got to bring it back to a Raider perspective, even though this is fourth and wasted. We talk about the whole NFL here, wasted late night. A lot of people are talking about bringing in another running back, right? I think that you are never going to get that until the 30th. The 30th is going to give you the 30th is going to give you a clear indication of how things are going to go Ashton Jeanty, right? Because there's no competitive balance for talking about exactly what's going on with Ashton Jeanty. There's no competitive advantage. You know, the Raiders probably shouldn't say anything about how long he's going to be out, right? But the cool thing is this. If he goes on IR, right, then you know 4 games, you already know. They're going to probably sign another running back, right? But if they don't put him on IR, then guess what? Then there's a chance he comes back week 3. But, look, the Raiders receiving the all clear is what we want to see. We don't know what's going on. Now, they said that, Ian Rappaport and those guys said today that it seems like it's on the lower end. There are other, sprains, right? And I broke this down today. I had a short up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys didn't see it, I did a pre-recorded video about the Ashton Jeanty situation, right? But you know what? I think it might be time for me to go over that on the way out. If you guys would humor me, man. If you guys would humor me, I'd be willing to go over that. Would you? Would you guys? Yeah, and the Raiders are lip locked, and they should be, man. The Raiders are lip locked, and they absolutely should be. There's no reason, there's no competitive, advantage to be gained for them to do something like that. Like, seriously. There's no reason at this point in the preseason for them to say anything. Seriously. So, guys, I have an infographic for you, right? And I'm going to show it. Salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother wasted, right? Now, this is kind of breaking down, how ankle sprain recovery timelines can kind of play, right? Now, a grade 1 is a mild sprain. That's 1 to 7 days. Players can often return quickly with taping and bracing if cutting and pivoting are tolerated. Now, you guys know he is a halfback, so cutting and pivoting is vital to his position. Grade 2 and 3, moderate to severe, 2 to 4 weeks. Swelling and stability requires more healing time before explosive movement is considered safe. Right now, a high ankle sprain, which they are saying it is not, is a grade 1 mild, 1 to 3 weeks. Ligaments connecting the tibia and the fibula are involved. Grade 2 is 4 to 6 weeks. Push-off power and explosiveness are often reduced. In 6 weeks plus is like the severe surgical. Tightrope stabilization can mean 3 to 4 months or longer, especially with complications or additional damage. I do not think that is the case with Ashton Jeanty, right? So the biggest thing for the Raiders is after cut down time for the final 53. I think that'll give you an indication of exactly what is going to happen with Jeanty. Because if it is looking like he's going to miss a month, they will put him on IR and they'll get him right. And to me, I don't want to see him until he's 100% right. I don't want this to keep lingering. I don't want them to handle this the way that they handled the Brock Bowers thing last year. Salute to my guy, Rorschach. Wasted Late Night is pure fire content. Appreciate you. But you know what, man? The whole content thing is crazy, bro. I remember when I first started saying that, bro. I can't believe that y'all are still putting that up, yo. Salute to my guy, Raider Profit, with a $2 slap a room. Wasted. When you gonna have Gruden on your show? When will Gruden grace me with his presence? You know, John Gruden is a superstar. You know, we follow each other on TikTok. You know, I'm gonna reach out to him. You know, but that would be amazing to have Gruden on the show. It would be amazing, man. And not my bad imitation of him, but the real John Gruden, man. Seriously. But look, I want to make sure that Jeanty is 100%. I want to make sure that, you know, Mike Washington, there are a lot of people that think Mike Washington is going to come in and there's going to be no noticeable drop-off just because of a couple of carries in the preseason against guys that might not be in this league. It's the thing, right? The one thing that you guys are not realizing is how valuable Jeanty was from day one in the passing game. The guy caught 55 passes last year. And the Raiders are going to use him similar to Christian McCaffrey this year. They're going to use him as that feature factor back. Salute to my guy, Merrill Hodge, right? So when you start thinking about that, there's also a piece of the passing game that the running back is responsible for, and that is pass protection, right? And listen, we got to see how Mike Washington Jr. is in pass pro. Now, I will hope that during the San Francisco game that they put him in bubble wrap and don't give him another snap into the regular season. Seriously. Hopefully, you know, in pass pro, so that the team doesn't become one-dimensional, you know, Mike Washington can hold up. Hopefully, Jeanty could be ready for week one. That'd be the best case scenario because let me tell you something, man. A lot of prayers were answered, man. I'm just so grateful that he's able to play. And my guy, Solly Mitchell, said, he goes, yo, I'm so effing grateful we're still going to see him play. I was crushed Sunday when the news first dropped. Oh, man. I was devastated, bro. Devastated. And this is the thing, Top. We haven't seen it yet on an NFL level. Like in college, it looks like he can. I have faith in him. I think he can get it done. But the one thing that I've learned in this game, and I've learned from podcasting, right, is, yo, unless I see it and unless I believe it, we cannot say what something's going to happen. Oh, my God. Who is this bum? He goes, wasted talent's mom. The F up out of here. Man, do you know my mother? Tell you what, my mom ain't going to tell me it's bedtime. She ain't going to call me sweetie. My mother's a G. The F up out of here, you effing bum. Yeah, that account just got blocked. Don't you ever play like that. Tell you what, the later you on, the more weirdos they are. Yeah, that's crazy. Bodega, it probably was you. My son is a varsity running back at his high school. It took him 2.5 years to recover from an ankle sprain. I agree on Jeanty being ready for week one. Yeah, he must have had a high ankle sprain, but yo, you got to understand too, like when you start talking about timelines and recovery and things, I don't know whether your son has NFL talent, right? But the 1% guys that are in the National Football League, they are not like us in more than one way. They heal. They have a different threshold for pain. They're different, bro. Yeah, Fred Warner, he played with a freaking fractured ankle for 17 games, bro. How many? Some people couldn't even walk around a corner. He played in the NFL with a fractured ankle. Like, dude, them guys are not like us, man. So, listen, with Jeanty, I'm just hoping the swelling goes down. I hope he has the stability. He can cut. He can plant. He could be explosive. And however long it takes for him to get there, I am with it because he is the future of the Raiders. But guys, listen. I'm just glad that the Raiders, I'm just glad that the Raiders are, handling things the right way. This is what good looks like. This is what good looks like. Another cool thing is this. Alex Guerrero, there was a lot said about Alex Guerrero. Alex Guerrero has worked with, a multitude of players, man. There's a lot of players, man, that use this alternative medicine, man. His most notable client is Tom Brady, but Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, Willie McGinnis, Jimmy GQ, Max Crosby has interacted with him. Clayton Kershaw, Adrian Gonzalez, Zach Greinke. I mean, his alternative medicine methods are something that I want to see that in real time, man. Deron Harmon, Chris Hogan, Ty Law, Jacoby Brissett, Danny Amendola, TJ Houshmandzadeh, LaDainian Tomlinson, a guy that I compare Jeanty to a lot, Keenan McCardell. His physical therapy, man, is something that, has really played dividends for some of these people. There have been stories about, Tom Brady hurting his ankle and, Guerrero working with him and getting him back on the field. Seriously. So, look, man, let's see, man. Let's see. Hopefully this Alex Guerrero thing is a real deal. Do I think there's any relation to Eddie Guerrero? No. I mean, that's like your name being Williams and just assuming that, like, it's a very common last name, bro. Like, no, but do I think that DeMokes is like a heavy-ass Eddie Guerrero? Yes. Yes. But, guys, listen. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. I mean, I tell you what. Late night will waste it. We will be rocking and rolling all week late night because I'm working late this week. Working late this week. So guess what? You're going to get some early morning shows. You're going to get some late night shows, guys. I will be here for you all week. We will be doing a real Raider Nation Unlimited tomorrow. There will be a pre-recorded video up tomorrow morning too, so look out for it. It's like a fresh cup of coffee, guys. Listen, do me a thing, man. Appreciate you guys. Share this thing out to all social media. Hit that subscribe. If you guys aren't following, make sure you hit the notification bell. And also join the Wasted Talent Army, guys. Join the Wasted Talent Army, please. He said, I didn't fall asleep last night. I didn't mean for you guys to see that. But I didn't mean for you guys to see that, John B. Raider, you effing bum you. But guys, you guys have a terrific, terrific, terrific night. The train is going into the train station, and it is time for the great and powerful Wasted Talent to go in my slumber. You guys have a great night. We are out of here, baby.